Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing part 2 of my adventures as a shrimp keeper. On the left we have the guppy paradise, and on the right we have the new shrimp tank that I built about 20 days ago. So in this video we'll be adding the shrimp and beginning our adventures for real. These aquariums are actually drink dispensers. They're meant for parties as like a water cooler type of thing, but they make an excellent aquarium, and those nozzles provide for effortless water changes and an easy way to take samples from the lower parts of the tank. That's really cool. Now I'm going to grab my water jug and cut about half of the water out of this tank. I'm going to do a water change here. I won't be able to use this nozzle much once the shrimp are in here. We're also adding killifish, by the way. So I want to go ahead and do this water change now as we prepare for, keeping our pets inside. This water is very green. This is really dense green water, and cutting it in half like this is going to thin it out a little bit, but that's okay. Lately, you guys have been asking a lot about the green water. You seem interested, so I'll have to do more videos about it. In particular, the ecosphere that we built like a week ago. We're going to open that up and check it out. We'll do that next. But here we've extracted a small amount of our water, and we have our gifts from Clay. Clay Wise, our good buddy, he sent us some killifish, some guppy grass, I believe, some snails, and of course, some shrimp as well. I'm so grateful, man. That means a lot to me. You didn't have to do that. I always feel guilty when you guys send me stuff, but I am very grateful. Thank you. And here we are. I've added them to their own jar, and I'm slowly adding a little bit of our water over the next hour or two. I'm not going to do a drip acclimation, but I am going to allow them to sit here and, equalize temperature and slowly add a little bit of our tank water. I want to leave them in the jar for a good while. We're going to do this over the course of a couple hours, slowly adding a little bit of our tank water, adding a little bit of their water to the aquarium. And I will be keeping the plants isolated as I want to use those plants in other projects. And here are some beautiful blue shrimp, directly descended from Clay's pet shrimp. I think that's so cool. Thank you, man. Check out his aquarium channel, Wise Fish Keeping. Clay's just out here for fun, but it's cool to see your guys' projects, and we're all out here for fun. So yeah, check him out, Wise Fish Keeping. I'm sure he'll appreciate, some discussion and stuff. Sometimes you just want to talk shop, and you got to meet somebody in the hobby, and it's kind of cool. But here we are, enjoying our beautiful shrimp. They have their own little jar for right now. And again, I'm slowly adding a little bit of tank water. I'm allowing the temperatures to equalize a little bit. I was very worried about these guys as FedEx kind of delivered them to my fence out in the heat. Yeah, it's very scary. Thank you to my wife who ran out there and saved them. Thank you so much. But the shrimp are great. I read a lot about these guys, but seeing them in person is so different. You can read that something is an inch or an inch and a half, but when you see it up close like this, you really get an idea of their scale and their size. And it's got me thinking about all sorts of projects that we can work them into. And I'm just really excited. They are perfect for my biosphere. They're perfect for what we do here. I love the way they swim and their attitudes, their actions as little scavengers. They're out there picking up every little bit of food they can find. We'll keep Clay's hornwort and guppy grass separate, and that way we don't lose them in the jar. But here they're just slowly acclimating at like 8 times fast forward. Yeah. And we're ready to go. We're going to add them to the tank. And we're going to be very, very careful about this. They have about half of their water that they came with and about half of our aquarium water in these jars. This is a very interesting plant. I probably got the ID wrong. I'm sure Clay can let us know in the description, or in the comments rather. But I will be keeping it separate so that we can try to culture it and grow some more of our own. It means so much to me, guys, when y'all send me stuff, and it's not just like, oh, I got this somewhere. I got this from a friend. This is your stuff on the channel. You're part of the Bucket Pond crew. Like, that's how I feel, and family members that give us plants and stuff. Everything's so cool. I'm just a happy guy. I like it that we're doing this together. And, I like to lean on you guys a little bit too when I need some tips or some ideas. You know, if I might have a problem, I might be able to ask you, and it's gratifying. You know, it's, I don't know, something about it. It's rewarding. But we're going to carefully add the shrimp here. The killifish are in there already, and instantly I could not find them. I could not keep track of the killifish. Yeah, they're pretty good at hiding. They were really skittish when I was looking at them in the jar as they were acclimating. So I imagine they're just in there, just immediately hiding, taking shelter somewhere. So that's okay. You know, as long as they feel safe, that will be a better thing overall. And here's a look at our little shrimp buds. Yeah. So immediately, they're down here in the tank, and they are looking for food. They are scavenging. They're running around picking up every little piece of debris. And you can see that everything's pretty clean in here. Look at this shell down here at the bottom. It's completely clean. It's white, and it's been underwater for like almost a month. And the snails and ostracods and all of our little friends are just keeping it very clean down here. And I believe the shrimp will help to assist in that process. We did add material from the bag of bugs, so we have some scuds in here, I'm sure, and some of the seed pods. You might see them as well. But this level of the aquarium, the very bottom, is very active. Our ostracods, our detritus worms, our snails, a couple different species. Everybody's in here just looking for food, cleaning everything up, and this is what I want to see. I have been feeding this tank with fish flakes and the occasional cucumber slice every so often since I put it together. I hope you guys could forgive me for cutting this video into two parts. It would have been like another 20-minute video, and I know generally we only watch about 5 minutes, you know, maybe 8 minutes if you're really into it. So yeah, I decided to go ahead and cut this video into half and just turn it into a series instead. But the shrimp are doing really well. Look at that. He's like a little tractor. He's picking up this little piece, that little piece, detritus, debris, you know, fallen bits of duckweed and extra food laying around. It's really cool. I'm very excited to have the shrimp in here. They are the perfect size for my projects. I'm curious to see how they interact with the other organisms in this tank. I haven't seen any planaria, but we have quite a few different worms of different types in here. So, if we do have any planaria explosions that happen, I hope our little killifish can keep them under control. And if they're anything like our endlers, we should be okay. If not, I will make other plans, other arrangements. Either way, I'm going to make sure these shrimp do very well in here. And the killifish as well, if I can see them. This is a really big tank for those little fish, so they might be hidden for a long time. But once we get some fry, once they start reproducing, I'm sure we'll see them just swarming in here. That's the future. But for now, I'm very excited to watch the shrimp. They're just adventuring. And, you know, I did have some in-person requests for a site like this. You guys wanted to see on top of the aquariums to see what the surface looks like. And here it is. Just some duckweed and quite a bit of aeration in here. This duckweed is collected from several sources, but originally descended from our samples that we took like 5 years ago. And it's really cool to include it in this tank. Now the water is green, and that's fine. You know, I'm not too worried about it. I would like for it to be nice and clear, but that's okay. I'm going to feed everything with some API bottom feeder pellets, which may be made with shrimp, I'm not sure. And some crab and crayfish food by aquatic invertebrates, rather. And we're going to add a few pleco wafers as well, just a couple. I'm adding a small amount of all of these different foods so that I can get a good idea of what the shrimp will enjoy the most. We have one more option here, which is some tetramin fish flakes. Generally, this is for the ostracods. The snails will eat everything. Everybody in here is pretty omnivorous. And finally, we're going to add a liquid fertilizer. This is more or less for the shrimp to help them molt, but it might not hurt the plants either. It might help them as well. Calcium and some other trace minerals, very useful stuff. And I've just recently started working with that. I don't usually, you know, add that type of thing, but it works so well on the other projects, so I'm going to add it here. And now we're going to take a bit of the hornwort from the Guppy Paradise and add it to the new project. The Guppy tank is overwhelmed, and the new project has room for more hornwort, so we're going to do it. But first, I want to take a cup of the water from the Guppy Paradise, and I want you to see something really cool in here. It turns out that the system we set up in that tank is perfect for collecting samples of our microfauna. Yeah, detritus worms and ostracods, and even a few baby snails. They all get sucked into the nozzle there. And it might look kind of messy because, it is some mulm and stuff down there in the bottom. But this is the benthic layer of the aquarium. It's like the digestive system. And being able to get a shot of that material directly without disturbing it too much, it's very useful. Check out all the life in here. You guys might notice that in future builds, I'll be adding a cup of guppy water to every jar and project that we set up to instantly establish a healthy ecosystem at the bottom of the tank. It's very important, and I'm very excited that we can now do that so easily. And we're going to add that to the new build. Yeah, so we're going to give them a nice shot of benthos, of detritivores, and help get things rolling even further in this tank. Now, you guys, this video is like already way too long, so I'm going to cut this into a part 3 as well. Uploading part 1 and 2 together, so if you're watching this one, you most likely watched part 1, where we put the tank together, where we built it. In part 3, we'll check back on the shrimp in about a week or so, and I'll also do a little maintenance here, adding more hornwort and stuff. Extra big thank you to Wise Fish Keeping on YouTube, our buddy Clay Wise, who sent the beautiful shrimp and the awesome killifish and those plants. Thank you, Clay. You didn't have to do that, man. I feel guilty when you guys send me stuff, but I am eternally grateful. I'll have a P.O. box up sooner or later, so if you'd like to contribute to the channel or see one of your favorite items featured here, we'll be able to do that. Yeah, very excited. I'll let y'all know when it happens. Real quick, thank you to Mia Shadows for your excellent comment the other day. I apologized at some point for being a little different with my content, and Mia reminded me that that's why you guys watch BucketPonds, because we're different, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much.